What if I told you everything you knew about multifamily investing was completely wrong? Welcome to a 24-plex that one of my members just bought for $5 million with no bank, with no credit, no cash out of his pocket whatsoever. In fact, he's from Argentina. Sounds like a scam, right? Well, the beautiful thing is he's using something called creative finance. Welcome Damian and Launi, his beautiful wife, to the show. We're going to be talking about how he found the deal. So you found the deal online or through a wholesaler, or was it somebody in the community?
I found it online, and it was a fourplex that caught my eye, and it's the one here in the corner in front of us, and that's when I contacted the broker.
Okay, so this was online.
Yeah.
What software are you using to look up deals? Are you just going on Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, MLS?
So I have set up some alerts on Zillow, Realtor.com, and also I do have access to the MLS, but I have those three systems set up sending me stuff.
Okay, are you a real estate agent?
I am.
I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, so you're a real estate agent, so you have MLS, sets up notifications.
Yeah.
This fourplex right here pops up.
Correct.
I know the story is 6 of these units you now own, but this one unit was the only one they were trying to sell. So you called the broker, and you originally came at him with creative finance.
Yeah.
How did that conversation go?
So it didn't go good at all. I contacted the broker. It took me 2 phone calls for him to eventually rejected my idea of creative financing. And we were on the phone. I tried twice. And eventually he said, no, I think that's too crazy.
Okay,
yeah.
so first lesson here, Launi, does this guy ever give up or what?
No, absolutely not. He's probably one of the most determined individuals I've ever known.
Okay, so Damian,
Yeah.
Normally, here's what happens. I'll see people in the YouTube comments that are not in our community and they don't know how this works. They'll go, I called a broker and they said no. They said I'm crazy and that creative finance is a scam, and they're just complaining in the YouTube comments. You obviously believe otherwise. You kept going, so what happened next?
Okay, so the first call was a hard no, very short conversation.
Okay.
I called him again 2 days later, and it was also a no, but I kept him on the phone.
Okay.
And that's when he was like, okay, asking me questions. Since you're persistent, like, tell me what you have in mind. That's when we talked about it, but it actually was also a no by the end of the conversation.
Okay, do you feel like your accent from Argentina is a detriment, like a downgrade? People immediately think there's a problem, or maybe I'm being scammed from somebody overseas?
It could be. Sometimes people think that I'm a telemarketer.
Is that because of your Android or because of your accent?
Both.
Okay, cool.
The green bubble or whatever you guys see on the other
did
end.
he believe you were a telemarketer?
No, he knew I was a broker.
Okay, got it. So you called, you had this conversation, hard no first call.
Correct.
You called 2 days later. What was the thought process of why you would persist and call a second time? What was the thought process going into that phone call?
I need to know why they are selling. Why your clients are selling this property.
You're looking for the bunnies.
If you tell me the bunnies, I could potentially relocate them to a different home.
Okay, I like that. You gave him a potential option.
Correct.
He then told you, well, they don't live there. And then he told you what?
Well, he tells me that there is actually 6 buildings. 3 belong to the brother and 3 to the daughter, to the sister.
Okay.
Right? So the story is that they are thinking about retiring. They've been having this property for a long time, and they inherited the property from mom and dad. Mom and dad did really good and through real estate, and they left a little empire and legacy for them.
Isn't that cool that this is what's weird about this, is that I imagine you guys want to leave a little empire for your 3 kids.
Yeah.
And it's ironic that you're buying an asset from somebody else who got gifted the empire from their previous parents. You guys are like literally passing the torch on and on and on. That's so cool.
The fun part of the story actually happens because of what you just said, because once I passed the rejection from the broker twice, I proposed to the broker to meet with the seller. So that's when he thought that I was really crazy.
Because in most worlds, in the real estate world, a real estate investor asking a broker, can I talk to your client, is a big no-no.
Correct.
Because most brokers don't have the collaborative thought process that you mean good. They think you mean harm when you're going to talk to my seller directly.
100%.
Yeah.
Like if you are really approaching these deals with the idea of let's help each other, right? You have a goal in mind, I have a goal in mind. Let's come together to the middle ground. I don't know why brokers are not open-minded when it comes to that. They're very protective, so you have to be sensitive to how they're always going to reject that concept. But the step number one is the broker having a kind of an understanding and why you're thinking of doing a creative deal.
Okay, what was the breakthrough mentally for that broker to finally realize that your idea actually could benefit their seller in a big way?
When he told me that they wanted to retire, I mentioned that. I asked him. So they're looking for to keep the monthly cash flow from the properties, but without the hassle, right? Without maintaining the properties, taking care of the tenants. And he said, actually, that's what they're looking for. Is they would like to keep the income of the property, but they don't want to deal with tenants anymore.
Did you bring up one of the things that we teach in the Sub-2 community, which is this can help them avoid capital gains?
100%. And so my follow-up to the broker, or talking to the broker, I said, also, Steve, if I give you, or if I bring a $5.1 million to the table, like day one, do you understand what's going to happen with that $5.1 million? Right?
I imagine it'll be something like $1.5 to $2 million in taxable gains.
100%, about 40%.
Right, so they, instead of the brother and sister getting $5 million over time,
yeah,
they would really walk away with $3 million now.
Correct.
And if they're already in retirement age, they don't need that $3 million all right now.
No.
It's better for them to receive $5 million over time, avoid the gains, and probably they even have children that those payments will continue to go to if they pass away, correct?
100%. So I described the benefit of creative financing and seller financing, and the broker went from hard no to you're crazy, but I'll present it.
Okay. I always tell people the more times you follow up with people, it adds another letter to the word no.
Yeah.
Right? And if you follow up 3, 4, 5, 6 times, no is how you spell not yet. Okay, you can't spell not yet without the 2 letters N-O. So you kept following up. You were looking for additional letters. Every follow-up got you closer to the no, but maybe not yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's keep walking. It is interesting when you first learn about creative finance, it sounds like a scam.
Yeah.
And when you listen to a broker also react the same way you did, you're also not surprised that they think it's a scam.
Yeah.
So it's okay to continue to persist and keep going down that conversation. So where did you take the conversation from hell no to maybe you're not as crazy as I think you are, but you're still a little bit crazy? What was the next step? Did you get in front of the sellers?
The step always is find the bunnies. That's what you teach us on. Find the bunnies means find the motivation or the needs, or the needs that create that motivation. So the first meeting with the broker was, what's their bunnies? Meaning, what are the problems that they have, and how can I relocate or rehome those bunnies, right? And the bunnies for them were like, hey, we actually like the cash flow. We actually like the money coming in on a monthly basis, but we're done with collecting rents, fixing toilets, fixing the property, maintenance and all that. So, okay, I detected or identified the bunnies, right? So for the second meeting, now my structure, numbers, offer is gonna be based on rehoming those bunnies. So I presented that to the broker, and he said, I think it's crazy, but I'll present it. And then it went to, hey, actually they could be open to that.
So he came back to you?
He came back saying we could potentially present it to the seller.
Okay, so you meet the broker agrees to let you meet the sellers.
Yeah.
Do you meet the seller and the brokers at the broker's office, or do you meet them here at the property?
At the office, yeah.
Okay, and how'd that go?
It was really good, I think. I told the broker before that we were going to go back and forth weeks, and it will only take one meeting with the seller and we will be on the same page.
So you appealed to the broker's best interest, which is, let's get you paid faster.
Correct.
Why should you and I go back and forth on all these phone calls when we could just have a meeting and you could say no to me faster, or you could say yes to me faster?
Correct. So we meet at his office with the seller, one of them, there is brother and sister, so one of them was there. I started asking questions. I want to know what is it that they want to accomplish? right? And at first they're a little hesitant. Who is this guy with an accent?
Well,
And then
the accent's definitely a big one. Then hopefully you didn't put your Android on the table and like show them.
that would have been, no, I kept it in my pocket.
You know what they usually require is once you start buying real estate, the real estate gods come down and require you to buy a quality phone.
I'm waiting for them.
Okay, well, the new iPhone came out today, guys. We might be getting Damian a new phone. Okay, so you're in the office, you're talking to one seller. I just want to point out to the audience real quick that what's important about what you're saying is that in a normal traditional real estate transaction, you've been a broker, you would talk to a lot of brokers. Nobody in traditional real estate cares really about what is going on with the seller because there's nothing really to bring to that seller other than one thing, which is price.
Yeah.
And when a seller can't get their price in traditional real estate, what do? They lower their price.
Yeah.
Whereas you're coming in and going, I will give you your price, but I need to know what you're trying to accomplish. And when you're structuring a deal, all these questions that you ask allow you to have ammunition to then actually go structure a deal that makes sense for everybody. In traditional real estate, that's not really how it's done. In creative finance, it's the opposite, which is I need to know what's going on with the seller in order for me to get the best transaction for the broker, the seller, and me. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so what kind of questions were you asking in that meeting?
I want to know the story. Like, can you guys tell me about the story of the buildings? How did you guys acquire them? And of course, like I threw some flowers in there. It looks amazing. It looks beautiful, and it actually looked like it looks today. The buildings look beautiful. Like, it looks like you guys took really good care of that. There has to be a story behind the beautiful buildings and also how you guys maintain it. If you guys don't mind, I would love to know that. And also, I wanted to know the story on, hey, okay, so why are you selling it? If you don't mind, what will be the perfect situation for you guys or for your future?
So the next step was like, hey, I'll bring a proposal to the next meeting with you. First meeting, I found out what the seller wanted to accomplish. Also that they wanted to retire and that they wanted to still enjoy the income, but they didn't want to deal with the tenants anymore. So I found out in the first meeting. And then I created a second opportunity or a second meeting by saying, hey, if I put something on paper with my plan, but covering their needs, can I be here tomorrow or Monday? I don't remember how that went down.
And what was their answer?
Right away, I knew I was dealing with a legacy, and that you have to be very sensitive to that because it's not a number or a building for them anymore. They inherited the property from a hardworking dad and a hardworking mom. So the story changed there, where now you're doing more of an emotional purchase, and
which means it will be important to them to sell it to somebody who will also take care of the property.
Yeah, they're not looking for a syndication group. They're not looking for a big institutional funding or purchase. That changed the story because now they started interviewing me.
You go through multiple meetings and then you structure the deal, obviously. So tell me the structure of the deal.
So each fourplex was $850,000. So for all 6 of them, it would have been 5.1 million. I asked the broker if I buy all of them, I could either have a killer deal or they will finance it to me. And he said, well, I mean, if you same response that you will get from any other broker saying, hey, if you bring cash to the table, they will give you a killer deal, or I don't think they're gonna go seller financing. So that's the first no that I got. I don't think they will get it.
So this is the original structure of the deal. 0% financing, full price. Installment payments, so paying to the principal on a monthly basis, $20,000. And the condition that the property is today at the $932 a month rent, we are bringing in about $24,000.
You would essentially be breaking even at that point.
Correct.
I mean, on that deal, you're $20,000 directly to the principal. Obviously, that's like forever money that you're just stashing away. So that's really gangster. I love that. But then that extra $4,000 that you have, that's for like future vacancy and repairs and whatever. So that's really kind of a break-even deal. Yeah. I imagine your original thought was they're dramatically under market rents. Yeah. Let's give them 20 grand that makes them happy. And then what we're going to do is, as the tenants move out, we'll just one by one raise the rents.
Correct.
And with the 24 units you have here, probably $1,500 market rent, you're probably looking at like $35,000 or $40,000 a month in revenue. Yeah, maybe like probably close to 40,000.
Like 43, yeah.
$43,000. So that means once you went around, you didn't have to update the units in this structure.
This is how I got the units.
Guys, I can guarantee you this freaking rental unit is cleaner than your house you're watching this YouTube video in right now. It is incredible. The carpet, the tile, like everything. These people took care of the property. So in this structure, you and your partnership would have been netting somewhere around $20,000 a month.
Correct.
Net.
Correct, yeah.
Net. One deal, $20,000 a month net. That's not gross, that's net. His gross would be $43,000. I want to clear that, make sure you guys are aware of this. Not only would you put 20 grand in Damian's pocket, but then you're also paying $20,000 of principal. This is a freaking killer deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened?
Their CPA steps in. So I get a phone call from the broker shutting the door again. Like, this is not going to work. I know we're under contract. You're doing due diligence and all that. We got a call from their CPA that got him really nervous, you know?
Let me guess, the CPA was worried about the 0% side because the IRS has something called imputed interest, which means
That's what it was, yeah.
if the seller ever gets audited, they could be. It's not going to happen. I've never seen it ever happen. Find one person in history that's ever paid imputed interest. But essentially, the IRS would come in and go, you guys sold an asset and did not collect interest.
Right.
We're going to force you guys to charge, I think imputed interest rates like somewhere between 1.9 and 2.1%, nominal low. Yep. And so you guys had to, your broker, which is interesting, the email, was it him saying, we got to cancel the deal? Or did the broker go, let's restructure it?
Pretty much didn't know what to do next. And he thought that the deal was pretty much dead, right? I never heard anything, anybody getting in trouble for what is it called?
Imputed interest.
Interest.
Something that an Argentinian guy invented.
I'm like, don't even know how to say it, so I never. Anyways, but I knew it was a thing. So I told the broker, I said, hey, I'll get them the interest that they need, you know, that the CPA is asking them for, but under my terms. Okay. So the broker is like, what are you thinking? And I said, why don't we do this? Why don't I put it on a piece of paper? I'll break it down and I'll bring it to your office for another meeting with the seller.
So after the second phone call, I wanted to build a rapport. I wanted trust between us, and I knew a lot of people are skeptical, and I knew this was the case with this broker. So I proposed after the second call is, hey, do you mind if I stop by your office and we discuss this face to face? He actually loved the idea, which is probably a lot better. I know that's not always the case, but it was a great meeting that I had with him at his office. That's where you are able to build more trust. He was able to know who I was. He was able to ask me a little bit about my story. I was able to ask him about his business, and kind of we got to know each other. I feel like trust is a big thing between brokers, between buyers and agents, between buyers and sellers.
So you go down there and you say, let's just meet 45 minutes and we'll break the deal down. Can I guess what you did?
I would love to hear your
You
story.
lowered the purchase price dramatically, and you just added interest to the thing. So by the end, they end up getting $5.1 million after all the payments.
Something similar. Yeah.
Okay.
I said, I'll give you interest to keep you out of your CPA problem, but I'll give you interest only until I stabilize the property.
Okay.
Okay, so, and they said, well, what do you have in mind? The interest rate today is 7%. And I said, no, I'm restructuring the whole deal, so I'll give you 4% interest only for 12 months. And after the 12 months, I'll go to principal and interest for 4% interest, right, for the second year.
Hey, let's freeze for a second and head over to a whiteboard, because if you're anything like me, you're a visual learner. And I could talk about this all day long, but I want to show you on a whiteboard, step by step, exactly how this deal was structured before the CPA blew it up. All right, guys, we are here at the office. We're going to break down the whiteboard video as I remember it from Damian breaking down the structure. We're going to go first through the first structure, then we're going to go through what he ultimately ended up structuring. It's right behind him. Don't move, Damian, because we don't want people to see what the actual structure was.
Perfect.
Something I want to promise again to you guys is we're going to show you why this is possible for everybody. Damian, if you bought this 24-plex with traditional real estate, at $5.1 million, which is what it was originally listed for, how much money would you have had to have come up to get a bank loan for this $5.1 million?
Probably about 30%, which is 1.5.
$1.5 to $1.6 million in your own cash, correct?
Correct.
And you would have had to have W-2 income to some degree, or tax returns.
Perfect.
You would have had to get a bank involved, and this would have taken, how long do you think that would have taken to get a loan?
Probably, because it's a bigger multifamily deal, about 2 months, maybe 2.5 months. And also I should, like, all the financials for the property and everything else.
Okay, and you'll have to go through appraisal and all of those types of things.
Yeah.
What's beautiful is because he used creative finance, literally none of this is needed. You don't need any of that stuff. Did you have a bank involved?
No.
Did you have an appraisal?
No.
Did you have an inspector?
I did it, yes. Some contractors I wanted to check specifically on a few items.
Okay, awesome. So you didn't need any of these other things, plus you were able to structure a pretty amazing deal on the first one. Tell me where I'm wrong on remembering the story.
Okay.
Your first story, or your first structure when you talked to the sellers and their broker in the office, you structured a deal that the purchase price was $5.1 million. That was the number that they wanted, so you met them where they were at.
Correct.
They then asked you for a $2 million down payment, and you just knew, hey, I'm gonna go to the sub 2 community, I'll raise that $2 million from other sub 2 members, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so for those of you guys watching right now, saying, how was he gonna get the $2 million? Well, sub 2 members would have come in, brought that money, and they would have partnered with him on the deal. That is what sub 2 is all about, is collaboration over competition. So that was his thought process on this. He then structures a 0% interest loan with the sellers at $20,000 per month. How long were they going to let you make those payments before they asked you to pay off the rest of the balance?
So I proposed to them the whole $3.3 million on installment payments, and they said, no, we'll do it for 7 years.
Okay, cool. So they originally said, hey, you originally proposed 7 years.
7 years. And we settle at 5.
Cool. So we settle at a 5-year balloon, which means you would have made $20,000 monthly payments to them for 5 years. And at the end of 5 years, what were you going to do at the end of that 5 years?
Either refinance or sell.
Okay, refinance or sell and do a 1031 into another property.
Correct,
right? Cool. All right, so this was the original structure. At $20,000 a month, the current rent is $23,000 a month. Okay, great. Well, that means your net cash flow on the original structure would have been $3,000 per month in your pocket.
Without changing the rents.
Without changing the rents. Now, after the rent increase, you would have the average rent would have bumped up about $600 per unit, is what I'm kind of gathering, right?
Correct, yeah.
You multiply that by 24 units, you're looking at roughly $12,000, $13,000 in additional income with no extra costs on your side.
Correct.
Okay, so all of that is just net profit that goes to you and your partners. And so you would have been at $25,000 a month in net cash flow to you and your partners, correct?
Yep.
Amazing. Now, why did this deal not work out?
Their CPA got involved, and they said that they can't do, per the IRS, they can't do 0% financing. They need to charge some kind of interest on the debt.
Okay, so the CPA gets involved and he says, hey, I think this is a great structure. I like seller finance. I like what you guys are doing. I think it's better for you. Did the CPA agree that this was better for their capital gains tax?
Yes.
Okay, so he liked the capital gains portion. He loved everything about the structure except for the 0%.
Correct.
Okay, so what happened? How did this deal fall apart? Was it an email, a text message, a phone call?
It was mainly a text and then followed with a text, call me, we have issues, you know? So that's what I call
it's like an ex-girlfriend saying, we need to talk.
That's we have to have a serious conversation kind of thing. And then the broker tells me what happened with the CPA. He stopped everything, he stopped the seller from moving forward, and the sellers panicked a little bit and say, hey, we don't want to do anything illegal. Our CPA is saying that we're doing something outside of the IRS code.
Okay, so I get it.
Yeah.
When I first learned about creative finance, I was like, scam, that's a scam, 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 scam. It's not a scam, obviously. Yeah. So you then step in and you go, all right, well, this structure is not going to work for you.
Right.
Well, I guess you walked away from the deal and you said, I give up.
I could have done that. But it's always like, what's the solution? How do we create a win-win scenario between the sellers and the buyers? And I told the broker that I wanted to propose a different idea, and I would love to have another meeting with the seller with a new plan.
And did you do that in person and present the plan, or did you do it in person and talk about potentially presenting the plan?
Over the phone, I said we should have a meeting. I'll come up with a solution, but we should present it to the seller directly. It will be better if we meet at your office with the seller, and then I brought my new structure on paper to the seller and the broker.
Boom. All right, so let's reveal the new structure. This is the structure you ended up closing the deal at.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so second structure, you got a reduced price. So
Yes.
that's kind of nice.
It actually, the CPA helped me, right?
Thank you, CPA.
So whoever that was, I appreciate that.
CPA, cool person always. It's not crazy person always or a crappy person. It's cool person always. He helped you out. He reduced your price by $600,000, so you walked into $600,000 of equity.
I proposed a completely new structure with new purchase price and numbers that will be better for me. We will play with your new guidelines that you brought to the table, but under my terms.
This is why price is actually not that important in a lot of ways. It's really how do you accomplish all of the levers, right? You've got purchase price, you've got down payment, you've got interest rate, and you've got time.
Yeah.
Those are the four levers of creative finances: purchase price, down payment, length of time, and interest rate. So we've got purchase price, down payment. This is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
The down payment going from $2 million, where you'd have to go to the community and go, hey guys, I need $2 million,
Yeah.
to saying, hey, sub 2 community, I need $1 million, and bringing in way less partners and sharing the pie with a lot less people. And you got a lot more equity because of this.
Well, not only 600,000, but also I didn't need as much money out of pocket.
Okay, so less partners, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. And you brought in sub 2 members to bring in that $1 million, which is
Yeah.
awesome. Then your interest rate goes to 4% interest only,
Yeah.
which is also really cool because that makes your payment really low, which we'll cover in a second.
Correct.
So that's first 12 months, 4% interest only. After 12 months, which means in your mind you go, hey, I can pay more money in 12 months. Why?
It's something that it's a combination of something they wanted with numbers that work for me. I would have kept it to 4% for 7 years, but they didn't want that. So we went back and forth a couple times. And also I'm reducing the principal. I'm attacking the principal a little bit at a time. So that's kind of what we settle on, a number that will work for me, and at the same time we'll give them what they wanted.
Okay, cool. So this structure, I also want to point out, is better for you in the first year anyway, because your new payment
Yeah.
on 4% interest only is now $11,600.
Yeah.
Okay. And with the same income, right? The income's the same here as it is here. This is the current income.
Yeah.
It's $23,000 a month.
Correct.
So now, instead of you making a couple $1,000s a month, you and your partners right out of the gate are bringing in $12,000 a month net.
We increased our income or cash flow by $10,000, and also it gives us time. This gives us a lot of time to transition from really low rents to market rents, and that gives us 12 months without being stressed.
Now, you fast forward about 12 months down the road. In 12 months, and you take your average income of $600 extra per month per unit, 24 units at $600. You're looking at, what is that, $12,000, $13,400. You're looking at roughly $14,000 extra on top of this that you guys are going to get in income. So you are still going to net the same amount of money roughly as you were on deal number one.
Yeah.
The difference is you're paying $600,000 less.
Less, yeah.
You raised way less capital, brought in less partnerships, and you still, at the end of the day, are netting in your pocket $25,000 per month.
Correct. We have more equity. We have less effort to raise the money.
That is incredible. Now, the $72,000 you got in your guys' pocket, put in the bank for operating, that came from private capital.
Correct. That, and also I planned the closing day on the date of the month that will give me the most amount of credit for rents. So I got credit for rent, and also I got credit for the tenants' deposits.
Wow.
So all that money helped with the $72,000 the check that we got.
So right now you guys have $72,000 sitting in the bank account, and you just closed on this on what date?
We closed on this deal beginning of second week of August, first week of August.
So it's been a couple of weeks, you closed on this.
Yeah.
You guys have money in the bank, which is nice. Operating expenses, money you guys, if you wanted to, distribute to your partners if you really wanted to, but I imagine you're probably gonna keep the money in the bank.
Yes, and also the way structured the offer is the first payment will be 60 days after acquisition. So all the rent that we got for this month goes directly to our bank account.
What do they say in Argentina? Go!
That's not the only thing, but yeah.
Dude, are you kidding me? So what he's saying for everybody that's newer is that he went to the seller and said, hey, down payment $1 million, purchase price $4.5 million, all of that. My payments to you at $11,600 per month, they're not going to start for 60 days, which means that Damian and his partners will collect $23,000 in rent for 2 full months with no payments to the seller. So Damian and his partnership is going to bring in $46,000 in income before they have to start making that $11,600. Bro.
For hiccups, cash flow,
kidding me?
Repairs, whatever.
Now the thing is, if they didn't like this structure, would you have given up?
No.
What would you have done?
This is probably plan C or D. After going back and forth, I would have kept going as long as the numbers work. I thought it was an amazing it's a really good property, amazing deal. So yeah, I keep going back.
I'm going to tell you guys the truth about this deal. This deal was actually presented to me. Were you aware of this? Somebody floated this to me.
Yeah.
I turned it down. I think it must have come from somebody that was raising money for you in the community or something.
Probably.
And I said, I'm too busy. I have too many things going on. Not something for me. You have an advantage, and all of you guys have advantages when you're starting out. You're nimble and you can go faster. You can spend the time and go build the relationships with the broker. You can build the relationship with the sellers. I was too busy traveling around the country. I'm like, I can't get involved in that thing. Go bring on other partners. I couldn't do it, and I freaking missed out.
I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate about getting rejected. I'm passionate about finding solutions. I love structuring deals. So
you like missing the goal over and over and over, and then finally getting one in the net.
I feel like Burr strategy is good. It's too I don't know, too simple sometimes.
Hey guys, we're gonna delete that from the YouTube channel. We will not be putting anything about Burr being good on the channel. Okay, just kidding. We can leave it. But good answer. But this makes you realize you could do double, triple, quadruple more deals, correct?
100%, yeah.
Bro, congrats.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.